What's up, guys? I'm Mike D'Antonio, founder and CEO of StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a lot of great setups to go over in tonight's video. A lot of things made some pretty big moves today in the market. Right now, we have Dow futures down about 80 points. They're trending downwards. We had a huge day with the tech sector, with Apple exploding again, but it kind of just evened and kind of bled off at the end of the day. And it's currently falling a little bit in futures. So we're going to go over a lot of good plays today in tonight's episode. Some important news, as usual, the momentum plays. And today, we have a record unusual options activity trade. We have a trade that had $38 million put into it today. That's not a mistake. $38 million. This is the largest unusual options trade we have ever seen. So make sure you stay to the end of this video to learn how to play that. And then at the end of the video, we're going to be answering all of your guys' questions. So with that being said, if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. And Tom and I really want to thank everyone who has been liking these videos, sharing them, commenting, and subscribing. The YouTube channel has been exploding recently, and that's all because of you guys. So thank you guys so much. And with that being said, Tom, what's going on with the market right now?
Yeah, this is insane. I just saw an article on CNBC, and it's titled "Wave of Selling Estimated in the Billions." And in the article, Michael Schumacher, Director of Rate Strategy at Wells Fargo, said that he estimates that the U.S. corporate pensions will move about $35 billion into fixed income, which is going to be like bonds and treasuries. And Wells Fargo estimates the rebalance into bonds could be the largest in 6 years. And this is huge news for anyone holding puts right now, as that much money going into the markets, selling the market down is definitely going to be huge news for anyone holding puts, wanting the market to go down.
Right. So, guys, pretty much what that means in common sense and simple terms, this guy is expecting a $35 billion transition from pension funds. Pretty much what that means is he's expecting these pension funds to sell off $35 billion worth of stocks and put them in safer investments like bonds. Pretty much what that means is they're selling stocks and they're buying bonds because they want a safer return. And bonds are pretty much guaranteed income, while stocks, as we all know, can fluctuate a lot. So keep that in mind. And then also with Fauci too, Tom.
Yeah, Dr. Fauci just recommended that states with outbreaks he recommends that they should pause their reopening phases. And if larger states like California, Texas, and even New York go backwards, this will be a huge burden on the markets, as those states reopening, especially those bigger key states, are going to really help the markets. And if those states start closing down again, where a lot of our shipping is and stuff like that, that's really going to cause a big delay in the markets once again, I believe.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at California, Texas, New York, even Illinois. All of these states are having some of the largest cases ever. You know, not all of them are having record number of cases, but you know, when you look on that Johns Hopkins coronavirus map, we are seeing some of the largest daily increases in COVID cases, and that's not a good sign. You know, obviously it's not a good sign, but you know, especially if these states start to pause their reopening phase and even if they go backwards, that would not be good for the market at all. And that can definitely trigger a huge sell-off. So with that being said, there's no play off of that right now. But if these states are forced to close some things down or just pause the whole reopening process, that definitely would make a great opportunity for like a shorting the market type play or even buying puts. So
yeah, definitely. And with that being said, I really also love the technical bounce off this 1000 SMA that we're seeing on the Dow Jones right now. You can see that it bounced perfectly off of it in the past, and then now we're right along it again. So you could see that this is a nice retest here. So definitely watch for this right here, as this is a key point for the Dow right now.
Yep, true. And then, I mean, just these tech stocks recently, you know, Apple, I mean, it's really just like a beast. You know, Apple has just been exploding, and it's really like driving the markets up with it. But it was nice to see that little sell-off today towards the end. I mean, I wouldn't even call it a little sell-off, but it had a pretty significant sell-off, and it's still selling off a little bit in after hours right now. Pretty much how I interpret this is the market is going to slow down a little bit or even make a little move to the downside because the tech sector has a huge influence on the market overall. And since we saw, ever since we saw the tech sector start to kind of like transition to the downside, which was, I would say, in the last, last 2 hours of the day, that's when we really saw the market start to fall too. It was actually almost exactly right when tech started to slow down, the market took a dump, and it's still dumping in after hours right now. So with tech transitioning, I think we could see the market overall see a little bit of downside for like the next day or two. But it just depends. Any catalyst can change that at any second. And then also, how about futures last night, Tom? With I wouldn't even call it a flash crash because it wasn't. It was just a very quick move with the 300-point downswing, and then it came all the way back up.
Yeah, this was insane. I'm trying to highlight it right here for you guys. This was a very nice drop on the markets. Me and Mike were actually pretty excited because, we're holding puts, and whenever we see the market down like this, we get pretty excited. But as we've learned lately, you can't ever trust the markets right now, especially in after hours, because then they came right back just as they have been doing over the past few months, ever since the virus has started. So really, it's just another thing where we should have learned our lesson there. And I mean, we didn't really lose anything here, but it's just one of those plays where it's just crazy to see huge 700-point falls and then 700-point rises on the Dow. It's just, you don't see that every day, especially in after hours.
Yeah, and the thing is too is it fell because there was news that came out about a White House trade advisor supposedly saying that the U.S.-China trade deal is over, and it turned out that news was completely false, and the market popped right back up.
Okay, I did actually hear about that this morning. So.
Yeah, yep. So a lot of good stuff. So now with the momentum plays for tomorrow, and with the first one, we have CODX. So if we could pull that up, this stock had a huge day in the markets today, up around 13%. Tom, what levels should we be watching for CODX tomorrow?
I'd make it break $19 tomorrow.
$19. So if CODX breaks above $19, we'll be looking at this in a bullish position, meaning we are looking to buy the stock or buy calls on it. With the next momentum stock, we have Penn Gaming, which is PENN.
Yep, watch for them to break 37.50.
Yep, 37.50. If it could break that, we'll be looking at it in a bullish position. With the next stock, we have UPS.
United Parcel Service, watch for them to break 111.
Yep, so 111, again, bullish sense. And then we have BABA, BABA.
BABA, 230.50.
Yep, so you guys heard Tom. And then with the last momentum stock, we have Grub, GRUB.
Grub, watch for them to break $70.25.
$70.25. If any of these stocks break above any of those levels, we'll be looking at them in a bullish sense, meaning buying stock or buying calls. Especially in the past couple of weeks, these momentum stocks have been working very, very good. And, pretty much all I like to do is wait for them to break the level we listed. If it breaks it, we are looking for an entry on them. So it's really simple. If they don't break the levels, then there's simply no play. So keep that in mind. And with the $38 million options trade for tomorrow, this, like I said, this is the largest unusual options activity I have ever seen on a single option. I think the largest before this might have been a Tesla option at what was it, 20 million, something like that. I don't know. It was somewhere around 20 million, but right now we're looking at a $38 million option for tomorrow, and we're looking at Apple. We're looking at the 370 strike call options that expire this week, June 26th. Again, $38 million put into this trade. Now, before you guys get all crazy and say, oh, Apple is going to explode up tomorrow, someone put $38 million in the trade, or, oh, I'm going to load up on Apple 370 calls. Guys, you have to be very careful. People can very well be shorting this option, and how it looks right now, it looks like they are shorting this option. So pretty much what that means is, just like a stock, you can buy a stock or you could short a stock. With options, you could buy the option or you could short the option. And right now, it looks like this trader is shorting the option, meaning that they want the 370 calls for Apple for this week to expire worthless, meaning they want Apple to go down. Now, I can be wrong on this, and pretty much the best way to play this is if you see Apple with upwards momentum tomorrow, the 370 calls could be a good trade. If Apple has downwards momentum, you're going to know that they shorted the 370 calls, and you should look for Apple put options. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense in terms of what specific put options. It doesn't really matter too much, but I would generally get like an at the money put option if you're going to go with the June 26th expiration. If you are going to go with an out of the money option, I would go with next week's expiration, and the strike doesn't matter too much. All right, so hopefully that helps all of you guys. I'm definitely going to have an eye on Apple. And I know a couple people had some questions with DraftKings and Fastly, Tom. So do you want to cover those stocks real quick?
Yeah, definitely. DraftKings has definitely been an awesome stock to watch lately. And I know we talked about it the other day, and I did say that there was some downward momentum on it, and they did kind of fall off towards the end of the day today, but it looks like they are picking it up in after hours, which is kind of strange because the market's down and DraftKings is up, and that might be a good sign because maybe as the market goes down and as there's more coronavirus news, that means more people will be using DraftKings maybe. So maybe that's good news for them. But I really like this move to the upside here in after hours. But keep in mind they had the same move to the upside yesterday in after hours too, and then they still fell today. So I think that they could still fall. So I'm still bearish on them overall, especially in the short term.
Yep. So can you like draw like maybe some technicals, like maybe on like a daily or even an intraday chart time, just to give some people like some levels to watch out for?
Yeah, definitely. Here's a perfect one. This is a perfect trend line to the downside right here. You can see it bounce off of this almost like 3 or 4 times here. And this is where we really saw the big sell-off on DraftKings today, right once we touched this trend line. And you could have drawn that trend line once you identified these 2 tops up here and drawn it to the downside. And if we go to a daily chart, you can draw a nice top on it to make a nice resistance. If you change your drawing tool to the price line, you can kind of draw a resistance level there at like $45 around. And you can see that we did come kind of close to 45 again and then start falling down. And you can see how much we've risen since the IPO. I like I've been saying, these stocks that rise this much, I really think that they have the potential to fall, and they could fall a very large percentage. So I would definitely play this with puts if you were going to play it. That's just how I would play it. But, you know, everybody's different. A lot of people like to ride that momentum up, but this is a stock. This is not a stock that I would ride up kind of like Virgin Galactic or like SPCE. It doesn't have the potential of a stock like that just because it's just a sports betting app.
Right. And then what's like the next major support level for DraftKings? Just give people like a target.
Yep. As the next major support, I would look for like $36. You can see that's like right where as we rose up and then consolidated back down, we had a solid bounce off of that about 4 times in a row, and that's great to see. You guys could have day traded that perfectly probably on those days. Let's go back on the 15-minute chart actually and check that out. Yeah, you could see it right here, right off the support multiple times, and it was actually right off of the 1000 SMA as well. So that could have been a great time to trade this off of those technicals. I hope this has helped you guys a lot seeing these technicals as well. If you want to see more of that, definitely let us know in the comments down below.
Yep. And then next we have Fastly, which is FSLY. And guys, this stock is pretty much the stock that is outperforming Zoom. It's kind of like the hottest stock in the block right now. Zoom was one of the top leading stocks of the pandemic, and Fastly is overtaking them. So they have a ton of momentum, and I'll let Tom cover the rest.
Yep, I really like their momentum to the upside, but the thing is that once you start seeing the momentum like this, especially with this steep of a rise, and especially once it's about, let's see, off this one, oh, hang on, I have to change my drawing tool. But once you see this bounce off the 100 SMA down here, we had a nice rise about 280%. And that's insane for a stock. They do cloud computing though, which is awesome. That's a great, I don't want to say sector to be in. That I guess you could say it's a tech sector, but cloud computing itself is something that's awesome. And I know Amazon got really big doing cloud computing as well. I believe that's most of Amazon's business, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, well, I don't hear. I wouldn't say it's most of it, but I know it's one of their largest revenue streams. Like I know the Amazon Web Services section of Amazon makes so much money, and they have some huge contracts. And
Yeah, exactly.
Fastly is pretty much in that specific industry. So Amazon Web Services, one of Amazon's largest and like best businesses, Fastly pretty much just specifies in that.
Yep.
But
And as a short term play on Fastly, I would honestly start looking at playing puts on this or going to the downside with it. I think a lot of these tech stocks are going to start seeing a nice fall here very soon because the steep rise that you see, especially on Fastly and Zoom, both, I don't believe that these stocks are going to keep the type of levels that they're at right now. And I think that they will definitely come back some, especially before they rise again. So I think that Fastly has the potential, especially since we fell below the 100 SMA now and after hours. I think we have the potential tomorrow to maybe hit $70 a share.
awesome. And then before we get into everyone's questions, I just want to give a quick little shout out to Ayrton in the Discord chat. Thank you for being a great member of the Discord group. And I think we're gonna start a new tradition, Tom. Like we might just give like a member of the Discord chat like a shout out every day. You know what I mean? Like because we have some great members in the Discord, and I think they definitely deserve some recognition. You know, so if
Yeah,
you
definitely. I've been thinking about that too, and I've been wanting to throw some of them memes out here too.
yeah, I know we should. So guys, so if you guys want to join our free Discord chat, you can click the first link in the description down below. I post completely free day trades in there every single day. We have a great community, over 3,000 members. It's really a great community. We're talking stocks, finance, options every single day in there. And, you know, like I said, it's a great community and it's free. So keep that in mind. So now with the questions from the previous episode. So we have Rob saying, when you call out a momentum play, is there a formula you use to pick which strike price and expiration? And pretty much the best way to go about it is look at these are meant to be day trades. You can swing them, but the best way to go off of my experience is to go like if you're going to day trade it, honestly, the best thing to do is do at the money the closest expiration. So like the weekly expiration or just like the shortest expiration at the money. So for example, you just round the stock price to the nearest options price, and that's what you trade. If you want to swing the play, what I recommend is going a little bit further out of the money, nothing crazy, like maybe like 2 to 3 strikes further out of the money and go get one more week of time. So like go 1 week out on the expiration and just go like maybe 2 to 3 strikes out of the money. That's what I would do. If you can afford to go in the money, like on the swing, that would be even better. Really, you know, there's no magic formula or anything like that. It's just a lot of it comes down to preference and just like kind of like experience. So with the next question, we have Brad saying, aloha, once again, awesome info as usual. I added Spotify puts before the close of today's session. What goes up must, and he goes, we'll see. Mahalo. So awesome comment. And yeah, Spotify had a crazy run up. It's a huge bubble. That's all it is. You know, any stock that goes from literally $190 to highs of $257 in, what is it, 5 days, it has to have some sort of retracement. You know, that doesn't mean it's going to come down back to $190, but it does have to have some sort of bounce back. So awesome comment. We have Lou saying, I bought a share of Apple on my birthday for $317. Best present ever. So yeah, I mean that looks like a pretty nice present. Apple is, you know, one of the top gainers in the market. So awesome job. With the next question we have, let's see. Next question we have, let's see. We have Mark saying, great job, guys. Love all the content I've seen so far. Subscribe to the channel. What do you think about COTY? So, Tom, I'll let you cover this one.
Yeah, COTY, it's another penny stock. It's really low at about $4.50. but it is kind of doing a triple bounce off of the support down here, so that could be a good play. But it's just something I would never get into. Let's check it on a daily chart. Yeah, based off of this daily chart, I really now would never get into it for sure.
Absolutely. We have the bag saying another gem. Thanks, guys. So thank you so much for that. Next we have, let's see. Next we have Sunu saying, I'm learning so much. Awesome analysis. Keep it up. Thoughts about JPMorgan. So JPMorgan is obviously it's in the financial sector, but you look at the JPMorgan chart, like you look at like a 6-month chart or even what Tom has pulled up right now, it's clearly not rebounding as much as other sectors are, like the tech sector, from the whole pandemic. And to top it off, the feds are doing pretty much what's called like a stress test on bank stocks on, I believe it's Thursday, so in 2 days. Pretty much they're testing them and seeing how they're doing fundamentally. If that test comes back bad, JP Morgan, along with other tech stocks, can really take a beating. Now, if it comes back good, we might see a turnaround in the financial sector. So honestly, if I were to play this, I would just wait until after the stress test, which is on Thursday, I believe. Next, we have Chris. We have Chris saying, thanks, guys. Great info. So thank you so much for that comment. Chris, you've been around for forever. So thank you so much for the awesome comment. Next, we have, let's see, we have Max saying Apple is already 362 in after hours. We will see how it opens tomorrow. We will see a top and I think a final top in the markets on June 25th. I will be taking a close look at the markets up until then. Maybe even see a gap up that day. Thanks again. Absolutely. So Apple's one of those powerhouses, no one can call the top, but kind of like in the price action I'm seeing now. And I think the tech sell-off towards the end of the day is really affecting the markets right now. And, we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. Next, we have, let's see. Next question, we have Robert saying, can you buy calls on a stock and then sell those calls the same day on Robinhood? So you can, but you can only do that 3 times on a 5-day rolling basis, like 5 business day rolling basis. Unless you have more than $25,000 in your account, then you can do however many you want. With the next question, we have, let's see. We have 244 saying, thank you both for the great insight as always. New subscriber, and I'm thankful I discovered you guys. Can you guys look at BNS and or BMO? They're both Canadian banks. And let me know any price points you see. Do you guys make any videos on your long-term portfolios and any strategies you use, growth versus dividend or both? So absolutely. So to answer your second question, we have made videos on like long-term investing. Just Google the channel name and then dividend stocks. We made a great video on all the dividend stocks we're looking at, pretty much our strategies with all those. So I highly recommend you check those out. And then Tom, what are you seeing for BNS and or BMO?
Yeah, for BMO, Bank of Montreal, I really kind of like it to the upside. But the thing is that it's definitely, it looks like it's going to follow the U.S. banks. It kind of has a similar chart, kind of like how they're not recovering fully like the tech sector and like other sectors have. But other than that, I do kind of like them to the upside for the long term. If you're going to get into it for the long term only, if it's for the short term, I would kind of watch for it because it looks like it's really starting to consolidate along this technical 100 SMA right here. And you can see it's really bounced off of it a lot. So this might be a key level for it. So I'll watch for a break in either direction from here.
Yep, for sure. And let's see, with the last question, we have Zen saying, love the daily recap. You guys rock. When you look for price action to break through a certain support or resistance level, does the candle need to close beyond that level, or is the price just passing through those levels enough to go bullish or bearish? So amazing question. And to answer your question, simply, there is no like wrong way to do it. Personally, it depends on like what I'm trading. Like if I'm doing a day trade, I'll get in right when the price like passes the level. But if I'm looking for like kind of like a more safer, maybe like a longer term trade, I'll wait until the candle closes through it. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way to do it. But generally, the safer you want to go, that's when you would want to wait for an official close through the level. So yeah. So with that being said, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. There was some crazy news with Dell at the end of the day, and they ended up shooting up about what's the percentage here? Like 21% from about $48 a share all the way up to $60. That's an insane fly up in after hours. And they flew up because they're gonna take a $50 billion stake in VMware, which what does VMware do again, Mike?
I don't remember actually. I don't remember, but either way, a $50 billion stake, that's huge. And you know, like that's it could be definitely a momentum play. But what I think is very sketchy is I'm looking at the options on Dell, and as you can probably guess, someone bought over 2,000 call options that expire in 24 days on Dell, and they're at the 50 strike. The 50 strike calls that expire July 17th. Someone bought about 2,000 of them, and I'm sure they definitely knew about the news with VMware because it's a pretty large position, and they're going to make about 10 times their money in one day off this news. So that's definitely some insider trading right there. But you know, it is what it is. But either way, Dell had a huge move, and this can definitely be a continuation play.
Yeah, and what's awesome about it is that Dell is also, VMware is also doing cloud computing just like Fastly.
Oh, that makes sense then why they shot up so much.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, great stuff, guys. Right now, futures are sitting around 50 points to the downside, so they're pretty much flat. We will see what happens in the market tomorrow. Either way, there are a lot of opportunities with what we shared, like the momentum plays and Apple and like all the hot stocks right now, Spotify, DraftKings, Fastly. A lot of great plays right now, guys. If you guys are interested in joining the free Discord, you can click the first link in the description down below. It's completely free. I call out day trades every single day at market open, and we have an amazing community in there. A lot of great people. And if you guys want to trade the same options that Tom and I trade every single day, check out the Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below. And if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. Tom and I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who's been liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. We really, really, really appreciate it. The YouTube channel has been growing so much, and we are very, very thankful for all of you guys. So with that being said, if you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.